Hello, and here we are back in Skyrim, and today we are looking at 9 mods. I know a big long number, but it can be slightly kind of like, not a short video, but shorter looks, just on both because of what mods they are. But you're going to have to excuse the background if there's a bit of funky fuzziness of it. It's the green screen, still getting used to it, and still working with the light. So to hopefully possibly get a slightly better look, but that's a technical thing. You ain't gotta worry about that. Also, having a slightly different kind of edit layout to this as well. Hence why at the moment I'm huge. But I'm trying a different kind of edit layout with this just to see how it goes, and then and as well as a kind of slightly different presentation wise as well. Right, that's enough of my waffling on. Let's get into mod number 1. Alright, and here we are with mod number 1, which is Cities of the North, Dawnstar. So, what this one does, quick bit on general explanation, is that it basically, it doesn't it's not a massive overhaul of Dawnstar, but what it does do is that it does change some of the, the building models, for example. So as you can see, this is what was originally supposed to have been, I think, the blacksmiths. So, for example, I do have another mod rod running. That's basically one of my mods, and it is kind of like, the thing is in the way a little bit, but so if you have anything else that puts things into cities or anything like that, do expect there to potentially to be some potential collisions. But hopefully we'll have with this, at least hopefully we'll have it down to a minimum at the moment. So yeah, so what it does, it's not a massive overhaul of the city, or at least not this one anyway. It's not a like big huge overhaul, but what it does do is that it gives the buildings a much more different look. And I think what gives it that kind of like very like Nordic, like by the coast kind of town look is that the buildings have these massive bits of timber or wooden well, I don't know, because I don't know what you would really call it, but the framework, at least anyway, is, they're big. They've got the big pointy things that are on top of them, so kind of like has that very kind of or at least to me anyway, has that very kind of Nordic feel to it. But it's not just, but I do believe that it's not just the exteriors that are different. I do believe it did say that some of the interiors have been slightly altered to match up, basically with the new looks. So we're going to look in a couple of buildings, and we're just going to see if there's any difference, because you can see with the building straight off the bat, the building itself looks completely different. The texture of the building is completely different, and it has that more, like
my cousin's out fighting
Nordic
dragons.
wooden feel to it. Or at least that's what I'm getting from it. But alright, so let's have a look in a couple of buildings, and we'll see if the interiors are also altered. Alright, here we are inside the Whitehall, or basically the Jarl's Longhouse, and instantly you can tell the stark difference. In the ways of that, it's now huge. This is much bigger, has a much more grand hall feel to it. Whereas before it was just like some dinky little house, but now it has that kind of big grand hall, like big open space, high ceilings, massive fireplace in the middle, big long tables. So it has that much more grand hall being to it. Even and so, but it still follows that similar kind of structure. Where you got the stairs going up to the one side there, and you got the more stairs going up to the one side over here. You got the room here where the in this case the Stormcloaks would obviously be doing some kind of like battle operations, and and that kind of thing. Yeah. And then over here you got what is this? I think this might be different though. Is this now a kitchen? I don't remember this place having a kitchen before. I might be wrong. It's not that often I mingle with the Jarls. Anyway, I fucking got his butt in my face.
ship away from this son of Skyrim.
And then obviously you got the Jarl's
If you don't mind, sir, I
house,
have a
but
request.
fair enough. He has
You have a request.
I'm guessing this is the Jarl's room, and only has
Should be
full,
interesting.
practically a full set of
Well, I was
stone
thinking,
armor in
sir,
there.
with the war going on.
I mean, it makes sense. The Jarl,
Could
you
enlist,
at least
fight
have
the
some money,
Imperials.
even if Dawnstar is a piece of shit.
Enlisting in the storm.
Yeah, you know. So that's the Longhouse or the Whitehall.
That's why
So we're now gonna have a look in the other, only kind of like other building I really tend to come into if I ever visit Dawnstar,
Oh, fish.
and that is the pub.
just dream.
Right, and here we are in. I forgot what this place is. I can't remember actually what it's called here,
Don't get
but
out.
it's basically
I'm
the
right
inn.
behind you.
It's like Wind Peak Inn, I think it's called. So no, I can't quite remember what it's called. But again, it's another very bastard difference, and it's that aspect again of big open space.
I
And
wonder what
it's
song
big
the
enough to
choir's
have a
gonna sing
whale
tonight.
skeleton in it.
Still here.
So
All I ask is to remain strong.
if it's big enough to have a whale in it, it must be pretty big.
I will.
But it also kind of makes sense for a place like this to have like a whale bones hanging from the ceiling. Does kind of make sense. Now I will say, the only thing I'm not going to say it's
Should I order a drink?
like a critique, but it's just kind of one of the things that that bed's in the wrong place, so I will grind it. Slight bug, but it's going to happen. You got maybe possibly the person who done the port on this might be able to might see this, then notice that and go, I'll move that bed then. Yeah, but you can still get in and out, so it's not a big problem. But no, the only thing that seems to be missing on the floor is some rugs or something.
Warm drinks.
That's about like the only thing.
I could watch the end
But right.
go away.
That's it for this one. So this was Cities of the North, and this was Dawnstar. So next we're going to move on to mod number 2, which is another one in the Cities of the North series. Alright, and here we are with mod number 2, which is Cities of the North, Falkreath. So, yeah, again, it's another one that's, it's definitely made Falkreath seem, despite the fact that Falkreath was always a
I
kind
had
of
no
like
idea the trees could grow this tall. They practically reach the sky.
Exactly. But yeah, because in that, Falkreath was a kind of like a more outdoorsy kind of place. Wasn't it? It was just built into the map. It's not its own. You don't have to go through a load door to get into here, and it's built into its own face. It felt very enclosed.
So
Quite
clean out here.
enclosed, very
I can miss
small.
it out.
This feels big, open, kind of what you would expect it to be. But as you
Can't wait
see,
to
the
cut
actual
one of those
building
rebels.
architecture itself is also,
like you
and just it's a little bit different compared to Dawnstar. They don't have those big bits of timber structure on at the
So
front and
much
the back
green
of
here.
on the roofs.
Beautiful.
But now Falkreath, for example, does have these big ass walls with big ass towers. Alright, here we are with the sun, so you can kind of see the buildings a little bit better now. So yeah, fortunately I seem to have a tree sort of fall onto this dude's house. But yeah, okay, so then if you go, I don't know what this place was. I know somebody's house, but I can't remember. Corpsite Farm. I don't remember Corpsite Farm, but it's Corpsite Farm. Alright, so yeah, there you go down to it. I don't know, it feels like there's a few more trees as well. That might be just me, but
Heard they're reforming the dog.
I do like the fact that you go here, and then even though this is kind of meant to be kind of outside Falkreath, I think. It's just, but it has this like kind of built into the mountain cliffside a little bit. But then up there's another huge tower. Right, so we're going to have a look in... Again, we'll probably have a look in the building. We're probably going to be going to the main buildings, because there's probably 2 sets of buildings, maybe 3 sets of buildings that most people would end up going to in places, in the cities. And that is the Jarl's Longhouse, the pub, and maybe the shop. So I'm also here, I might actually look in the shop. just a general store shop, because for example Dawnstar doesn't really have one, but here it does. So I think here we'll probably have a look in the general shop, and we'll probably have a look in the pub,
Why?
because I'm British and we like
no
pubs
place
apparently.
Any questions?
Right, so we are in Grey Pine Goods, and I am almost on fire. Toasty. Oh, where the fuck is he?
Right
Oh, he's
behind
over there.
you.
Oh, he's moved, because he's normally there. Now he's over there in a very
Can I
tiny
get
ass
you
space.
something?
Okay, so
I'm
the
right
shop
behind you.
itself obviously definitely had an overhaul. I just find it a bit weird that it's like,
Still
I
here.
don't know. It's almost like he's got less stuff. I mean, it's been a while since I've been
Still here.
in this dude's shop, so I can't really quite remember exactly what the original interior looks like. But I don't know. It just feels like it's a bit more empty. But I mean, and again, it might just be me. And then you have here, and then you got this where they live. So, yeah, so he still lives above the shop though. So, alright, fair enough. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the
Still
interior.
here.
It's just,
Looking for something? Look around all you want, but don't try and
but
be
it's
funny.
again, it just seems like, I don't know. It seems like he has a little bit less stock, I think. But again, it might just be me. Right, let's go and look at the pub. Right, there we are. Oh, and Belgar. So obviously the bar
Welcome
is
to Dead Man's
is
Drink.
right by the front door.
Still here.
That's very convenient if you're someone who's desperate for a drink.
I escaped fighting in
What's
Cyrodiil,
that?
only to have it track me down again in Skyrim.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So, oh, I quite like this
Back.
layout. Again, different from the previous one. No, the previous one, big open space. This one, though still a big open space, has a bit, it seems to have a bit more of a like seating origin in layout's a bit different, and I quite like how that is. So there you go up here, and then so behind here, I'm guessing is. Well, I don't know what's behind here. It's just an empty space actually. Was this where was there supposed to be a bed
I wonder
here?
what song the bard is gonna sing tonight.
I got a feeling there was supposed to be a bed there. I mean, there was a bed over there. Oh, come on, Willow, number 2. Willow, get out there. Would you move back?
You could have just asked.
Yeah, but the problem. Ah!
golly.
Right, I mean. Okay, so you got 2 beds there. So I don't know. It feels like something is supposed to be there, but it's not there. So it could have just been missed with the porting, because I think if I remember correctly, all
I'm
of
right
these
behind
are ports. All the ones that I'm showing today are ports. So there is going to be that small chance of a few little like funny bugs or things missing or things not being quite in the right place, kind of thing. But obviously, I will let you know if there is anything that kind of really bugs out. Which so far haven't encountered anything like that. But yeah, but in general,
Be
I like that.
I
I like how it is.
Information to that
Cool.
pompous nephew of mine.
Alright, that's it for mod number 2. We're going to move on to mod number 3, which is another Cities of the North, though I can't remember where we are going. We are going to, oh god, Warfare. Alright, and here we are with mod number 3, which is Cities of the North, and Warfare. As you can guess, I don't like Warfare. Alright. Are you fucking...
Don't get too close.
I like how these people are just so this whole entire time me battling this dragon.
Horror around here.
I never would have believed it if I hadn't seen it.
Okay, so everyone's come to watch, but these people are just like... Okay. Cool. It's a big bat. So, okay, it's a dragon.
Your back.
Run! Anyway, let's just get some neat stuff off this dude. Right. Anyway, here we are with Morphal. With Season North, Morphal. We're not going to see that many people because everyone's up here apparently staring at the dead dragon. But right. But yeah, as you probably gathered, yeah, I'm not really one for Morphal. I don't like the place. It sucks.
Think twice? I don't even think
You know.
once.
It's a terrible place. It's a horrible place. Nobody likes fucking Morphal. If you like Morphal, there's something wrong with you. But we gotta show it. I gotta be fair. So as you can see, it's has that much more. It has the dingy kind of looking wood. It's white and all, the bones and just the dingy, swampy bogginess of everything.
I'm right behind you.
Don't even know where the hell that
Some
front.
mushrooms.
See, they're so poor over here in Morphal, they can't even afford the front door. It used to be there. It's no longer there anymore. So actually, I don't know where that door is. Probably down here. Yeah, it's there. But yeah, so yeah, the actual exterior is, obviously the wood has that kind of slightly more kind of like dingy kind of look to it, and a bit more air. Bit for the guardhouse, and then you come over to here, and this is, come on, what her name is, Alva's house. Better bing, bada boom. That guy's so depressed over here, he wants to commit suicide by jumping in the water to drown himself. But yeah, so it doesn't add any extra buildings, but it does obviously change them. So yeah, I mean, it makes the Northall buildings at least look a little bit better. So it makes Morphal at least a tad bit more tolerable. But will I still tolerate this place? No, I will still rather burn it to the ground. But let's go and have a look in a couple of places, and we'll have a look at the interiors of, again, we're going to look in the pub, and we're going to look in the longhouse. Anyway, right, here we are in the, so it's like High Moon Hall or something, I think it's called. And again, yeah, has that kind of big,
I'm right behind you.
big open space at the start, but then you get to here and it's, it closes a little bit, but it still has that kind of bit more openness to it. It still feels, has that little bit more kind of openness to it. It has that kind of like, I don't know why they have hay here, but fair enough.
ask that you speak to me first.
Nah, sure. So yeah, but as you can see, very, very different compared to the original design. So in here, we obviously, okay, so this is where the Stormcloak.
What the rebels like to forget
we'll do
is
all
that
their
the Empire
planning.
is what's keeping the Dominion out of Skyrim.
Fair enough. Oh, there is actually a few things technically you could technically steal from here if you wanted to. Nothing too crazy, but you can still take it, well, steal it, do whatever. I'm gonna guess up here is probably where the what's in here? I don't know. The scribblings of a madman, possibly. I don't know if this is. I don't think that would be the Jarl's room. I can't see that being the Jarl's room. It'll be too small for the Jarl's room. Let's go to Skyrim. Okay, maybe it was the Jarl's room. Okay, maybe it was the Jarl's room. Possibly. Okay, anyway, let's go back down. But yeah, so yeah, just as much as I bash Morphal whenever I get the chance to bash Morphal,
You're different,
yeah,
aren't you?
I do.
Not like anyone else.
Do like
Not more
I do like the job that they've done in it. Okay, that was her room. Fucking hell, it's a tiny ass room for y'all. But yeah,
Please
I
don't
do
mind for
like
it. He's
how
not
they
bad.
played this one now. It is definitely much better than the original vanilla game. But right, back to the pub. Right, so here we are in the Moorside Inn. Instantly straight away, completely different layout. And if you want a drink, you got to put more work into getting it, because you.
An orc bard? That's incredible!
Actually, wait a
Boss said they were only warriors. Good for him. I can't wait to hear
Where
his
is
first
it?
song.
Because that's rooms there. Actually, so where is the actual
Welcome to the Moorside. If you need anything,
bar bit
I'll be
then?
around.
It's weird.
To have a customer.
So it's an inn, but it doesn't actually have its typical, the typical bar by the looks of it. What was wrong? Couldn't they afford it? But I suppose it does make a bit more sense for this kind of place, because it's
adventure.
like...
Exchanging tales of valor with fellow travelers.
I don't know, but either way, again,
I'm right
as
behind
much as I bash Morphal, they've done a good job with redoing obviously the interior and changing up the layout and the size and all that kind of stuff of this place. Yeah, so in all, as much as I don't like Morphal, good job. Alright, so that was Cities of the North, Morphal. And now we're going to move on to Modern 4, and we're going to be leaving the Cities of the North series, and we are going to be moving
right
up
behind
to over to Markov. And I suppose you could say up to
Right
metaphorically
behind
compared to Morphal. But yeah, so we're going to be going to Markov to look at mod number 4. So I'll see you in Markov.
So, you can cast a few spells.
Alright, and here we are with mod number 4, which this is Tomatoes, Markov, and Ruin
Still here.
2K. So this one, I don't think this one directly alters the shapes of the buildings or anything like that. This is more of just basically a big texture overhaul. It is noticeable straight away, as Markov seems...
This city is so amazing.
I know the sun is out, but Markov seems
Look over
a
there.
lot
A stone.
brighter. The stonework is much brighter compared to the original. It kind of makes sense that it would be like
How much of
brighter,
Markov
and
happened
a lot
through
of
natural
and a lot of the Dwemer kind of like
questions and no
architecture and
Dwemer to answer them.
stone masonry might be brighter in a city where people are still living compared to where people aren't living. So to me, it kind of makes a bit of sense that they would take time to actually clean it and tidy it and keep it all nice and, you know, in good shape. But yeah, so it is just basically as far as I'm aware, it's just basically a big texture overhaul. It might change some textures within some of the interiors as well, because this is not just
Useless.
for the city. This is also for the Dwemer Ruins as well. So you're getting kind of like a couple of different things all together, really. You're not just getting the city overhaul. You are also basically getting a overhaul for ruins as well at the same time. So a dungeon overhaul and a city overhaul in one package.
I can't wait to
That's
see all
not
the
too
blood
bad,
and
really.
silver folks keep talking about.
Though the vinyl size is a bit big, but it is what it is. And there's a tiny ass house just over there. What a miserable building compared to Markov. Alright, so yeah, let's have a little look around just so you can kind of just see some of the new coloured
Still here.
architecture. And yeah, and just on basis of how much brighter it is. I mean, you kind of want to go to the prison line. You know, I'd be more than happy to lop this person's head off just so I can go in there because it looks so pretty now. Right, so I'm gonna just have a look in the interiors. I'm probably just gonna look in the inn because I'm not as far as I'm aware, this does not do too much with the interiors. But I'll have a look. We'll have a look in here, and we'll see if it does anything to the interiors. Right.
I've got your back.
So, to me, it doesn't look like
Need something?
too much is changing here. It might be. I mean, it definitely has like. Obviously, you got these kind of markings on the wall here. These are different. The coloration might be slightly lighter grey compared to the original.
I wasn't aware
So
that
I don't
Lisbeth was
think.
having trouble.
I think for the interiors, for what would be the kind of like what you'd see in the dungeons,
clean up.
I think it's a little less subtle.
Forsworn get almost
Well,
every ship
it's a
that
bit
comes in.
not less subtle. It's a bit more subtle
I'm so sorry to hear
compared to say
Need
the
some
actual city. The city is a bit more blatant. Whereas I think if you're going to be doing the dungeons and like this one here, it's going to be
What can I do for you?
no Sam. It's going to be it's a little bit more subtle. So it's like it's got like these engravings in the stone, rather than potentially like gold plating kind of stuff. I think. But again, I haven't been in here for a while, so I can't quite really remember. But it does look a little bit different. But without being it too obvious. But I like it.
And they'll scurry away
I like it.
fear in
It's
no
still good.
time.
Alright. And that's it. We're gonna. Well, I'm gonna just quick little run around the city just so you can just see a bit more whilst I'm basically saying what we're going to next. Alright, so this was Tomatoes, Markov, and Dwemer Ruins 2K. And yeah.
Give me some meat, you fat
Now, it's a good one, but one thing to bear in mind is that I think this one and some of the other ones I'm about to show in this video, they do require a good chunk of memory from your allotted space, so just bear that in mind. But then you probably wouldn't run all of these all at the same time, so let's bear that in mind. But right, we are going to move on to mod number 5, which is going to the other place that I'm not really a huge fan of, but I can't blame them for being a pile of crap, because it wasn't the people's fault. It was those damn dirty mages. Alright, and here we are with mod number 5. Yes, number 5. Yeah, have changed, different day. But yeah, so we're here with mod number 5, which is Obscure's College of Winterhold. So this is the one that I'm doing instead of the city, instead of like the Winterhold itself, because Winterhold is shit, and nobody likes Winterhold. So this one is just basically I think it's a very simple change to the actual college. It doesn't. I don't think it does too much to the outside. It might do like a few bits and pieces, but I think it's more of an interior thing. But basically, there does seem to be some small minor changes to the outside, like all these little tiny trees all over the place. I might be having some collisions with some other stuff, maybe. Maybe I've got two different mods on. I don't know. But we'll have a look. And then, yeah. So I may be having some guys colliding with this. I will have a look shortly. But you can see one of the bigger differences here is, well, you got basically
this weather makes me want to hibernate.
So okay, so the Hall of Attainment and the Hall of Countenance and the Hall of the Elements were already there, you know. But now you have the Hall of Acumen and the Hall of Diligence.
Twice?
And I think this looks like, I think this is just, I think it's just like a little thing, I think. Yeah, it's like a little notice board. I don't know if you could take them for some reason, but yeah, just looks like a notice board. Alright, so you got a little sign here now, so Hall of Attainment Directory. Anyway, okay, so it kind of tells you who kind of tends to stay in there and who sort of like, basically, well, yeah, you know, it's kind of like who's actually in there. Kind of thing. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. And I'm going to guess that the other place over here. Oh, yeah, I smoke. I thought it was a ghost. Obviously, probably does the same thing. And then, yeah, and then does the same thing. Okay, fair enough. Alright, so you had two other halls apparently. Yeah, so yeah, now we've got a hall over there and a hall over there. So I think I'm gonna go and show off. I think I'm gonna show off the two new ones that weren't there originally.
What's on the agenda today?
And I'll leave the rest of the places, basically the main ones that are already in the game, for you lot to actually have a look at yourselves. Right. And this is the Hall of Acumen. So it does have a little. It did have like a little directory thing on the outside as well, as same with the other two halls. So yeah, this is the Hall of the Acumen. So far, I can obviously decorate that much differently.
Was I in your way?
I'm gonna imagine that. Yeah, I'm gonna say that probably other places are probably similar, or at least have had a like redesign kind of thing, you know. But you know, it kind of blends in. It blends in really well. Yeah. Okay, so this actually you got plaques on here as well to basically tell you basically whose room it is. So you said that's Pelser quarters, and then we have Amandra. I think that's how you pronounce it. Amandra quarters. But it did this thing where it's like find and done. So I think I don't know if that's just a teleport system or if it shows you where they are. I don't know. I don't quite know how that works. Septimus Cygnus quarters. Okay, he used to be part of the college, so maybe it kind of makes sense for him to have a quarters. Just obviously he's not here now, obviously. Okay, fair enough. Nice design so far. Then you go up, and we find basically the upper quarters, and then we've got Malkers. Nobody seems to be here, so they all seem to have obviously buggered off somewhere else. This is Miranda. Okay, fair enough. We've got some whole bunch of quarters. Dumner outfit. So you know, it doesn't have anything kind of like unique. Doesn't have anything quite unique just yet, but I think that's the aesthetic they're going for. Is the kind of the aesthetic to blend in, and then I think if you go up here, this boy just takes you to the outside. Yeah, and then college up a walkway. All right, so we're going to go and have a little quick look at the other hall on the other side. All right, and this is the Hall of Diligence. And so okay, so this was so we got Borvia's quarters. So all the quarters again, they probably have some kind of when some of the people who kind of disappeared. There was supposed to be like a quest that they were going to implement in the game, or they have, but they kind of didn't, or it's become like an unmarked kind of quest. So mirror about the Ravines, but you know, so it's like Rundis and Bovies, and there's a few others, I think, but fair enough. But yeah, so I think what they have done is, again, it's the kind of aspect of the rooms have been kind of like designed to a degree in the ways of as aspect to show the personality of the person who would use the room, or kind of what school of magic they would be kind of be more focusing on studying, which then obviously then kind of basically works well with the rest of it, because that's kind of how the rest of it was kind of laid out. So you know, it's not like, oh, I'm going to put a bunch of random stuff in. It's actually been thought out at least a little bit, at least. There we go. Yeah. Racial. Blah, 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 blah. I've got a feeling that might be a new book, because I don't recall ever seeing or ever hearing of this book. So I think that might be a new book. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might be a new book. I've never heard of it. Illusion Office, and then Enchanting Office. Okay, so now we come to we've got some just like offices in relation to whatever School of Magic, basically. So, fair enough. Conjuration, I'm guessing. Yep. Yep. Alteration. Well, altering reality when you're sat in that chair, so you're having a conversation with yourself and you with yourself. What a riveting conversation.
I'm
Alright.
right behind you.
Yes, you are. Alright, so, yeah, okay. Fair enough. I like it. You know, because again, it's been designed well in a way so that it blends in well with the rest of how the rest of the college itself. I've got some funny stuff going on the outside, but I think that might be because I might have something else running at the same time. I wouldn't actually need to check. I would actually need to check that, but I think I have something else running at the same time. Another mod that does a slight change to the college, I think. But yeah, but anyways, the two towers from here, that was showing you, yeah, they blend in really well. Just blend in well. They look pretty good, you know. This and the other. All in all, it was a good job. And if you're someone who does a lot of the stuff with the college and stuff like that, might be one worth looking at. But right, so we're gonna move on to mod number 6. And for that, we are going to go over to Whiterun. I've seen Whiterun. Alright, and here we are with mod number 6, which this is written Whiterun. It's also got 2K-1K. Now, I don't know entirely sure which one this is. I don't know if it's a mix of 2K and 1K, or if it's specifically 2K or specifically 1K. Didn't really specify. But either way, it is basically a sort of a mild texture overhaul.
It's nice out here. I think I like Whiterun.
Good for you. As you can plainly see, that it is basically a light texture overhaul that it changes like the obviously texture of the paths, a lot of the stones and the all the stonework. I think it looks like the buildings and the windows have changed, so it hasn't changed the models of the buildings. But it's just a big texture overhaul.
I spend a lot of time at the market stall so I can learn the merchant's trade.
Yeah, all in all, yeah, it's good. It's good. You know, done well.
I smell fresh
that
baked
water is
bread.
a lot better.
My mouth is watering.
I'm trying to figure out if that's actually did it with the mod. I don't know, but that water looks much better. She looks pretty good from this angle. From here,
Heard they're reforming the
pretty
Dawn
cool.
Guard.
I like it.
Vampire hunters or something.
Yeah, you can see some of the stones have changed as well, just in the ways of general stones. But yeah, all in all, I like it. The only thing I'm not the hugest fan of myself, really, but it's just personal taste, really, more than anything else. It's because I'm not a huge fan that the stone. I can understand why the stone would be a very similar colour to all the other stone that's kind of like here in the city kind of thing.
Game out on those open fields.
But
Might go hunting later.
the actual look of the texture is fine. It's just the colour. I know that seems a bit nitpicky, but I think it's just because a lot of it is the same kind of shade of
I'm right behind you.
browny grey. That it would have been nice to be able to distinguish because this is kind of because that's fine in a way just in distinguishability. Because it's got a slightly brighter colour than a slightly brighter grey, but it's got obviously kind of like green moss all over it, so you can kind of distinguish it. Whereas like this is very similar to this. So when you get big expanses like this, or sort of like big open area, it's kind of like it kind of looks like the texture is doing the runoff kind of thing. I know it seems a bit. I know it kind of is a bit nitpicky, but it's the only thing I'm a bit like, about. But it's not the look; it's just the shading, basically, the color of it. I think it probably would it be better, maybe if like the stone of the wall was maybe a slightly darker color, just so then it was like a bit more distinguishable from the path. But in always in the buildings, work fine. I like the fact that it actually got some new window colours, which is nice. And all the other stuff. It's been altered and changed a little bit, kind of thing. Some of the stuff is still the same, but some of it's different. So all in all, it's not a bad job, and it looks nice. It's just I would have made the walls maybe a little bit darker, but that's just me. But I'm gonna go look in a couple of interiors, and I want to see because I'm not totally sure if the interiors have changed. But I also do like the fact that as well. Just looking at this one again, it's like they still gone for that motif of that, like Freetown, for example, it's made out of 2 different materials. It's not like, oh, it's all now wood or it's all now this stonework. It's, well, originally it was made out of some kind of stone and it was also made out of some kind of wood, so I'll continue to follow that motif.
You tried
And then it's got the plaster over here with the new colours. I mean, you get up to here. I didn't do it. Okay, I don't know why that chicken's dead. But it's like, yeah, you get up to here, and the market square does look really good, and with the engravings on the woodworks there, and with like the new coloration, with the lighting, it looks good. It's just the outer wall's a little bit disappointing. But right, now looking at a couple of interiors, and I'm going to see if the interiors have changed, because I'm not 100% sure. Alright, so
Still here.
looking at from here, I think there is some slight change.
Ooh, I wonder what song
I don't think it's like significant, like
Terrible. Shameful.
drastic change, but I think there is changing in the textures. But the textures are still very similar to what they were. I think it's just maybe a slightly different kind of colour variation, or it's a bit more detail within like the carving of the wood kind of thing, But for example, in here it is different, but it's also not abundantly different.
Something?
You can tell something is not quite the same. Alright, so we're going to have a look in Dragon's Reach. Might as well have a look in the big place. That's the main place where a lot of people go here. So we're going to have a look there, and then boom. Alright, here we are in Whiterun. And yeah, again, it's another one when you can tell it's different. I've got a feeling the textures are based off what they originally were. It's just got a slightly higher fidelity looking texture kind of thing. So you can kind of like see where it's the cross hatching of the woodwork kind of thing, And it's like this has a bit more detail to it, and the stonework seems a little bit darker, and it's got that more kind of like old kind of like fort kind of castle-esque kind of feel to it. I like it. I mean, it's got that stone texture again on the wall, which I don't think it needed it, but that's me. That's just personal taste. But yeah, it's definitely has that more kind of like stone look to it, very dark stone kind of thing, much more
Father says I'm too young to
castle-y,
so I
shall we say? But yeah, all in all, I like how it looks. I like how it looks on the outside. I like how it looks on the inside. Same with the other buildings. Same with the actual city. Again, the only thing I would change would have, if I was to change anything, would have been to make the city walls a slightly different shade to the paths. So then, when you got the two next to each other, you could distinguish what's what a bit easier or a bit better.
You couldn't possibly be the Dragonborn of
But
legend.
in general, apart from that, the rest of the work's good. Haven't been no funny glitchiness with the textures or anything like that. The game's been running fine. I mean, he's always broken, always fucking tweaking. But yeah, all in all, still a good job. So I ain't got no much else to say about that one. Right, we are going to move on to mod number 7 because oh my god, that took a while to get my phone unlocked. But yeah, we're going to move on to mod number 7, and for that one we are going to go to Winterhold. Alright, and here we are with mod number 7.
Very cold here.
This is written Winterhold. Yeah, it's still a bit foggy and snowy, but fair enough. Alright, but instantly you can see that the ground textures have been altered, changed.
People keep staring at me. It's like they've never seen a Bosmer before.
Well, they haven't seen the bottom around us. But yeah, so yeah, you can instantly you can tell straight away. You can see the difference in the textures, and I think that's still the same one. I don't think that one's changed, but oh yeah, well, we don't need to worry about the murder victim. Thank you very much. Let's leave that murder victim. But yeah, so okay, so right, let's have a look. We go up to the market square. And you can see it's like the stonework now. It's big, heavy stones, which would kind of make sense probably for like the first city, because I think this was already like kind of like the first settled city. I think in Skyrim or something like that, if I remember correctly, or at least from when it came from that moor anyway.
What does the Dragonborn do once he's been summoned by the Greybeards?
But yeah,
Can the Thum be taught?
I mean, again, it's another one where it's the actual buildings themselves haven't been changed. It's just another texture overhaul. Though this one's a bit harder to sort of like. It's a little tiny bit, well, at least at the moment for me anyway. At least anyway, because we've got all the fog and the snow and stuff. You know, it's a bit harder to kind of appreciate. But I think I can, you can see some of the differences. The biggest difference is the ground. The ground is completely different. But you can notice that there are other differences. It's like some of the stonework is completely different.
I'm a sailor on the North Wind. We're laying over in Winterhold.
And it just has that more kind of like, grey, dingy feel to it in
Careful.
comparison
There's a
to.
lot of ice on the road. Almost slipped.
Well, I think it's the ground that does it for this one. I think, and that changes it. That makes it instantly noticeable that it's different. But a lot of the other textures obviously have also changed. Probably not my favourite. I mean, they've still done a good job. I'm not going to say they've done a terrible job with it, or anything like that. But probably not my favourite looking one, because I think it's apart from the ground, the rest of it still looks fairly similar to what I can remember. Obviously, it's most likely going to be at least a little bit different because that's the whole point of a texture overhaul. But in comparison, I could probably quite, I could just go back to to its original look, and it won't look like that much more different, or like I won't miss this one if I take it off, But it's not to say that the person's done a bad job. They've done a good job, because doing a big texture overhaul, it takes time. It takes time to do a texture overhaul. But it is one that I could probably easily delete and I wouldn't miss it, to be perfectly honest. Alright, so here we are with the Palace of Kings. Yeah, you can see obviously.
How long are you going to wait?
Yeah, you can definitely tell that obviously there's a difference in the thing. I mean, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense when they floor tiles to also be on the walls.
If by message you mean shoving
But,
a sword through his gullet.
What can you do?
I'm right behind you.
Powerful statement, don't you think?
But yeah,
So we're ready to
it's not my favorite. It's not my most favorite. But for some reason, I don't know. It might just be me. But for some reason, it does look like. For some reason, the building is a bit more emptier. I don't know. It might just be me, but it just seems to look a bit emptier. Or at least on the ground, it looks emptier for some reason. I don't know why. Just very unusual. Anyway, we're going to move on because again, this is not my most favourite, but it's not to say, obviously, I'm not saying, oh, they've done a terrible job. No, they've done a good, they've done a good job. It's just not my favourite.
But people are still weighing
Alright,
things in their
but that
hearts.
was written Winterhold. We are going to move now on to
They
Riften
have families to
for mod number 8.
How many of their sons and daughters?
The penultimate mod, because we're nearly fucking done.
Here.
Alright, here we are with mod number 8, which is written Riften.
I've got your back.
Or RR. That's what I'll call it. I'll call it RR. Right, but this is meant to be basically a small kind of like texture overhaul of Riften, which you can definitely see within the stonework. Again, I don't think it changes the actual shape of the models of the buildings. Again, I think do believe it's just a
Sorry.
texture overhaul.
Just thinking about my experiments.
So yeah, you
I
know,
heard monsters live in fog.
have a look.
That's not true,
Look,
right?
why don't you have a look down there? So, stonework's down there is a little bit different. I think the buildings are a tiny bit different as well.
Town, eh?
But yeah,
Fishing, I guess.
obviously I know it's not going to be anything significant, or it's not one of these
My mind is
ones
on
that
my
like
experiments
add
today.
loads and loads of stuff in to the city. Again, it is just primarily for nothing but for textures. What the fuck is it? Anil's House of Words. Where's that come from? I've never noticed that before. Is that always there?
Ooh, spooky weather.
I don't give a shit about the weather, mate. I want to know about this weird door. I've never seen it. Okay. Anyway, let's carry on.
I'm so
Okay, so yeah,
If anyone from the Thieves Guild
yeah,
tries to rob me,
the
they'll just be
retexturing,
practicing.
absolutely fine. The only, again, I think a lot of these written ones, the only downside is that, yeah, you do a texture overhaul and that's great. It's just what lets them, lets them be like a little bit less impactful is the fact that it doesn't add anything. It just changes the texture. And then there's no wrong with texture overhaul. But I think that's the only thing that kind of like lets it down a little bit. But if you have a mod that just like, you know, I don't know compatibility with other mods that make alterations to Riften or any of the cities that were written that are with written mods. I mean, obviously, if it's a texture change, then obviously there's probably going to be conflict. But if it's just something that adds in more stuff, you know, like, let's say like more gangways down there and barrels and boats and people, and might add in like another building or just more like kind of like woodwork in ways of like creating like little, you know, like cranes or whatever kind of thing, that kind of stuff. I don't think there would be a massive conflict with it. I just don't know which textures would win outright, kind of thing. Alright, I'm gonna go look into Bee and Barb because that's kind of like, again, I
Ow! Hey!
didn't do anything. It was your fault. Because again, I don't tend to come here that often. I only ever tend to come here for either the Bee and Barb or Temple of Mara. You know what? We're gonna go to the Temple of Mara actually because I've been to the pub enough.
Can always earn more if I need it. I appreciate that, Brynjol.
So again, I think it's going to be another situation of basically that the textures, some of the textures have been switched out, like some of the you know, just the basic, you know, textures have been switched out, but it's noticeable, but it's not so different that it seems like it's a whole new
I
building or
hope to
anything
get
like that.
married here one day.
It's just
That'd
sort of
be
like,
nice.
yeah, you can tell the walls look a little bit different. You can tell some of the woodwork's a little bit different.
What is it you seek,
Yeah.
my child?
And that's it, kind of thing, yeah. But anyway, right. So this was Riften. Yeah, again, not blowing me away, but again, it's not to say that the person's done a bad job. It's just it's missing that thing of change in the city rather than just changing the textures. It needs to add more, which it unfortunately doesn't do because it's a texture overhaul. But right, we are going to now move on to the last one, which I've been saying, well, obviously saving to last because it is the last one, but I've actually purposely saved this until the last one. Which, because obviously we've got to go to Solitude now for mod number 9 and to get to the end of this damn bloody video. And here we are with the final mod, which this is Written's Medieval Solitude. So, again, it's another texture overhaul, so it's not going to change how buildings directly look apart from the actual textures of the building. But yeah, they have slightly more kind of like brownish, like a brownish look to them, like a tanned brick rather than the generic grey, which I do like. That I do like it, the fact that it has this different coloration. It looks nice, the coloration, rather than it being the thing. I mean, apart from obviously the bank is, I don't know, it looked like a fucking clown took a massive shit. But the bank isn't part of this mod. The bank is part of another mod that I've got.
If you're heading to the Blue Palace, you might want
But yeah, in general, yeah. Again,
What is it?
does it massively change the looks of buildings? No. Apart from coloration, it doesn't change anything else about the buildings or anything. But I like the colour scheme that they've gone with this one. I do actually quite like the colour scheme. Because, let's face it, generic grey is freaking boring. Alright. But yeah. So, we got, we had a quick look on this one so far, so... But yeah. I do like it. I like the fact that it's still got the kind of kept that red kind of motif to the roofs. Because obviously the Solitude banner does have red in it, and the armour is red. So it's like... I like the fact that they've also got a little bit of the that kind of fault carrying on with the roof of the buildings, apart from the Blue Palace, which Blue Palace is obviously different.
Wow, everyone here dresses
Yeah, okay, so we're going to have a look at a couple of buildings as well in here, just to see how different they look on the inside. Alright, and here we are in the Blue Palace. Now, I am so hoping that this interior is to do with Written's mod rather than another mod I got on, because I haven't been in here for a while and damn. Okay, well hopefully this is Written's mod. If it's not, then but if it is, then yeah, Jesus, looks a hell of a lot better.
The Blue Palace. This place
I mean,
is incredible.
Yeah, it's not blue.
To its name, too.
Yeah, it's ain't blue.
Very blue.
Why that check? That's a random place to have a chest. But yeah, it's still not blue, but it definitely looks a hell of a lot better. With this, it kind of actually now kind of looks like what you expect a palace kind of thing to look like, rather than like, oh, it's got the same kind of coloration to the buildings, to all the other buildings in the city. It's actually like, no, it's actually decorated out like how you would expect the palace to be decorated out.
This is likely superstitious nonsense.
So all in all, yeah, the Blue Palace, which I'm so goddamn hoping this is part of Written's mod,
Oh, yes, of course, you were right.
is
Well, tell
definitely
Captain Aldous I said to assign
a lot
the
better.
soldiers to Dragonbridge.
Alright, so just to clarify anything else for myself, I'm going to look in another building or two, and we'll see what's going on with the motifs there. Alright, here we are in the Wicked Skeever. And yeah, as you can see, it's got that red motif. Not with it doesn't have the sort of the gold embroidered beams and everything like that, but obviously it wouldn't because it's a pub. But it has that kind of like,
By blade or by spell.
I don't know, very traditional British kind of, that very kind of British pub
All you need to do is
steep
pay my
roof. It looks like it's something from the fucking 1800s. Yeah, it's actually was just designed in like the 1980s.
Handle nearly any threat. So,
Oh, shut the.
shall we talk
up.
price?
Well, yeah, okay, so we can skip it, but I do like it's got this kind of like little bit of divide as well.
It's difficult.
So it's like over here is all
tedious,
this red
but a
wall,
well-made arrow
decorated
strikes
wall,
forth
stuff
like
like
the
that.
fury
And then
of a
over here
god.
it's just stone. Almost like it's like this is where
The
you know
highlight of
the
a true
ruffians
adventure.
would drink,
Exchanging
and this is
tales
where
of
you would
valor
go.
with fellow
And this is where the
travelers.
people who got a bit more money would sit, kind of thing. And then the people who have all the money would just come and sit up here and lord themselves over everybody else. I don't know. but yeah, I do like this retexture. It is a good
This is an
retexture,
ode to Skyrim's
and
staunch
out of all the
protectors,
written, whatever you want to call it, out of all the retextures of those,
I order a drink.
this has definitely been the best one. Been better than the others. But alright, so that's it. That is it. That is all 9 mods. Right, so that was it. That was 9 kind of like city overhauls, with the exception of the college. But again, nobody likes Winterhold. But alright, that is it. And as always, there will be links in the description below to all of these mods, which I'm currently hating myself over because that's a lot of work for me to do now. Fucking yay! But yeah, so if you did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, and why not subscribe to the channel, and you can check out other mod videos that I've done in regards of either Xbox or PlayStation, which I might try and do a PlayStation kind of based episode again soon at some point. And yeah, so, and if you've got any mod suggestions that you want to suggest to me to check out, you can either leave them in the comments below, or if you go and subscribe to the channel, you can then find a link to the Discord within the channel. I'll probably leave a link to the Discord down below as well, to make it a bit easier. But you can either find it in the description down below, or you can go onto the main channel and find a link there, as well as finding a link to Twitch and TikTok, which TikTok, I have done fuck all with TikTok because I don't even know what to do with TikTok. I have no idea what to do with it, so. But anyway, so that's it for now. So until next time, I'll see you all later.
Baby, talking pennies, I need